Well, hello everyone from the frozen tundra. I'm Dominique Yates. I'm joined by Pete Dougherty. A very impressive win for the Green Bay Packers over rival Chicago Bears. 28-21 is your final score. Right now, the Packers are at the top of the NFC North after this victory. Pete, what do you make of this performance from the Packers, just finding a way to get a victory against a team that was really rolling?
Yeah, it's a really big win. Now there's still plenty of season to go, and week to week, you lose the next two, and all of a sudden things don't look so great then. But a really big win against a team that's been playing well. Now all of a sudden they're sitting on top of the division, and all the issues that they had earlier in the season now, their offense is coming around. That's three good offensive games they played in a row, even after Tucker Kraft's injury. So they're starting to figure out who they are a little bit. Overall, just a big win, and they needed plays on both sides of the ball, and they got the touchdown in the fourth quarter when they needed it, and then they got the stop with the 4th and 1 interception. I think it was a 3rd and 1 interception by Keyshawn Nixon in the end zone. Huge play.
Yeah, as far as the defense, I was curious about how they would come out and play, especially the run defense, because of DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai, really good runners. Yeah. They had more than 280 rushing yards against the Eagles, and without Devontae Wyatt, I wasn't sure what to expect. Overall, I guess you would say the defense was kind of a bend but don't break situation. I guess, what did you kind of see, especially, just throughout this game?
Yeah, the run, it was okay. The first half it was good. Yeah. In the second half it started to wear them down. The one I'd be worried if I were them, that 17-play, 8-minute drive. It's not the first time we've seen that this year. When they've gotten beat, they've given up those long, time-consuming touchdown drives. So, that's got to set off some red flags. They did pick up 2 defensive tackles late this week who are run stoppers. So, we'll see if those guys start working in more during the final month of the season. But, I got to say, I walk away from this game kind of impressed with the Bears. They got outplayed for a lot of this game. I thought the Packers outplayed the Bears for a lot, but Packers didn't score that first drive. But the Bears hung in there. They hung in there, and they kept running the ball. And then Caleb Williams, he'll miss a throw from the pocket, and you'll kind of go, well, what was that? And then he'll make a play where he escapes. They have him dead to rights, and he escapes, and he throws just a dart on the run. So a really interesting, fun to watch quarterback, and I think we got some years ahead of us of some pretty good duels with him and Jordan Love.
Yeah, that's just a big thing you can think about. You think about like the Tom Brady, Peyton Manning duels, and just so many more. We're not saying they're there, no question about it, but it could be the start of something special. Something else that could be the start of something special. The Matt LaFleur, Ben Johnson coaching rivalry, if you will. Ben Johnson will not be able to say he beat Matt LaFleur twice this season, but I will say that was definitely something that was pretty entertaining to follow along.
It sure was, and their handshake was kind of a blow-by. I didn't see it. I tried to find it, but I couldn't find it live, but I saw the tape of it, and it was kind of a blow-by. So that's fun to see, and I asked LaFleur about it, and he's not biting. But a couple players said, yeah, it does mean it means a little extra. So, it has to. It's one of those things where, right now he's never going to fuel the flames of this thing. But 5 years after he's retired, and he either writes a book or he's doing some documentary, and he'll be asked about it, and he'll be going, yeah, that really burned me, and I was so glad I really wanted to beat him, Yeah. So it does add a little spice to things.
Yeah, especially at the end after the handshake. LaFleur, I actually saw it. He sprinted off the field, jumped up, and did a fist bump for the crowd. So you could tell this was a game that he and this team wanted. And, hey, you have to win those divisional games, especially at home, and the Packers did it once again. So, hey, 9-3-1 on the season, 4-0 in NFC North play, and right now number 1 in the division after winning 28-21 over the Chicago Bears. Next weekend, heading to Denver to face a really talented Broncos team. For Pete Dougherty, I'm Dominique Yates.